Thanks, Omar. Thank you. Okay, how's everyone doing this morning? A couple of days ago, a friend of mine congratulated me for getting into the Hall of Fame of fastBREAK. I thought that was kind of cute, and it was also a bit funny. But I realized, after being here with all of you today and all the speakers that went before me, it is kind of special to be here. I've had the privilege of doing some pretty special things in my life. Over the past few years, I've had the chance to work with entrepreneurs, professionals, and people in business across various sectors, almost around the world actually now. And I've spoken on stages to hundreds of people. Just by a show of hands, how many of you here are in business? Yeah? Successful business? I see the hands go down there. My journey wasn't always so hunky-dory. It wasn't always rainbows and sunshine. I studied just down the road at UTS, and I did a degree in medical science and business, 2 degrees. And after I finished, I had a natural progression towards being what any good little Indian son would want to do, which is becoming a doctor. So I went to medical school and studied there. And I studied for a little while. I didn't finish. 6 months down the line, I found myself in hospital, not as a medical student, as a patient. I basically was very sick, really, really sick. And to put it simply, I was kind of dying. Now, since this is a 5-minute talk, I'll have to tell the rest of that story later. But the point is that in the process of recovery, I had a chance to really get some perspective on my life. I asked myself a bunch of questions, and one of those questions that was most pertinent to me was, what happened to me? How did I find myself in that position? So I knew medically and physiologically why I was there, but why was I really there? What really brought me to this position that I was so sick in my life? And the answer was pretty clear. I was living a lie. How many of you have ever continued on a path where you know that, deep down in your core, it's not really what you want to do, but you follow down because you think that the journey is eventually going to be worth the destination? Yeah? How many can relate to that? So over the next few years, having worked with a lot of organizations and professionals, something that I became really passionate about is the lies that we tell ourselves that get in our own way. Yeah, so we all lie in many ways, and there are certain lies that we have that we convince ourselves are true, and they're not. And I've found, especially as social entrepreneurs and just entrepreneurs in general, those lies can really affect us. So I just wanted to talk about 2 to 3 lies, depending on how much time we have left. Where's the timekeeper? Thank you. And the first one is this. Things will work out for me. How many people believe that? Yeah? Okay. So here's why it's a lie. I'm not saying that optimism is bad, but sometimes what happens is when you're optimistic and you're really optimistic, you get pushed over the edge. And when you get pushed over the edge, what do you fall into? You fall into waiting for things to happen to you. And as an entrepreneur, things don't work out for you. You work out for things, right? So if you want stuff to happen, you got to make it happen. And after I came out of hospital and I was in the process of my recovery, I spent a good 6 months to a year wandering around the same circles, waiting for things to work out. And I was very blessed to have some amazing mentors, have some amazing experience, some amazing trainings that made me realize that I had to get up and take what? Take action, yeah. Because if I didn't, then it just meant that I didn't really have a plan. And when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Exactly. So the second one, I don't care about money. How many of you believe that? Yeah? Okay. I'm sure I see a lot of people nodding and they're like, okay, I don't want to put my hand up this time. So I don't care about money. A lot of people say that, and why do they say it? They convince themselves that they don't care about money because there's an association with money and greed. And with that association comes a disassociation with money and doing good in the world. And we all want to do good in the world, especially in the social entrepreneurship space. especially being associated with such wonderful organizations as VibeWire, we want to do good in the world, and we think, well, I can't really care about money if I want to help people. So what ends up happening? Well, in my experience, having worked with entrepreneurs moving from the community space to wanting to be entrepreneurs, they put so much focus on the social and forget about the entrepreneurship side that they get stuck in a zone of paying the bills. So there's a very disparate disconnection between paying the bills and doing good. And because those things can't coexist in their reality, they're chasing two rabbits. So it comes back to the same thing. There's no strategic plan to align the two. There's no strategic plan to make money and do good at the same time. And then what do you think happens? They get stuck, yeah? So the third one is, yeah, I'd love to be good in business, but I'm not qualified, I'm not credible, or I'm not experienced enough. How many can relate to that? Okay, cool. Well, I'm just out of time, so I don't have time to go into that one right now. But I knew that I was going to run out of time. I absolutely love speaking, and I'm more comfortable speaking for 5 hours than 5 minutes. So real quick, I'm going to, how many of you like free stuff? Okay, I'd like to give a free thing to all of you. If you go to sketchpadideas.com, which is my website, /lies, I'm actually writing a book right now on this topic. I just decided because of this event. And if you go there, you're going to get a free pre-release version that's going to release soon. How many of you want that? Yeah? Okay, thank you for your time.